Today we'll be talking about the crime and the offense of aggravated assault to a police officer. Assault is defined as putting somebody in a reasonable apprehension of receiving a battery, meaning you come up to somebody and you threaten them with, let's say, physical force. And if that person is actually afraid of that and you're capable of inflicting that physical force upon another person, that becomes an assault. Anytime police officer is involved, it becomes aggravated assault. Something that we've handled successfully in front of a jury and secured a not guilty verdict when our client was arrested for aggravated assault to a police officer. The law is very specific and prohibits punching somebody or threatening to punch somebody, especially if that person is a police officer. Now, that individual must know that the person standing in front of him is a police officer, and that person has to engage in certain conduct that would cause that police officer to believe that his life is in danger or his well-being is in danger. However, the law also establishes that person who engages in assault must be the initial aggressor. If that person is not the initial aggressor, he cannot be charged or found guilty or convicted of assault, battery, or any other crime of violence, which is similar to the two we just mentioned. So in our case, we were able to successfully prove to the jury that our client was not the initial aggressor, that it was a police officer that overstepped his boundaries and caused my client to act in a way that he did. The video in that case proved to be the most powerful argument we could have made in behalf of our client, because video showed our client doing nothing wrong. Fortunately, we were able to convey that message to the jury that ultimately found our client not guilty, simply because we were able to establish that our client was not the initial aggressor. Police officer took steps which he should have never taken, which caused my client to act in a certain way, which ultimately caused my client to be arrested, unjustifiably so. But ultimately, that's why courts exist. That's why we have several branches of the government. That's why we have several ways of deciding what's right, what's wrong, and we have a system of checks and balances in place. And trial by jury is something which we implement quite frequently, quite often, when we know that the case is worthy of it and we're capable of creating a trial strategy that will resonate with 12 people from the community. And that's exactly what we did in this case. Ultimately, since our client did nothing wrong, he was found not guilty. He was found not guilty on every single count that he was arrested for, and he was able to go home, see his family, and continue to live normal law-abiding life like he did before. All because we're able to differentiate between what happened in reality versus what was written in a police report, and convey that message through specific, meticulous trial strategy to the 12 people selected from the community.